time in 4th grade, I brought my diary to school, and instead of listening during math session, I began to write about how cute the boy behind me was. My teacher, having been annoyed with me for not paying attention, grabbed my diary and began to read it to the whole class out loud. My professions of love for my fellow classmate. I was mortified, and I felt panic and fear and humiliation and shame, and my heart beat faster, my face turned red, and I had this overwhelming sense of how horrible I must be. I felt stupid for bringing my diary to school and also getting caught with it in class. I felt like I was the most ridiculous person ever, and no one would ever want to befriend someone who would embarrass themselves so grossly. What I've described to you are feelings of shame. We all have them. These are moments in time when we are overcome with painful feelings of self-loathing. Shame has often been associated with guilt, but we will see how shame and guilt are very different. I'm suggesting to you that it's important to see the differences between these two words in order to help our children and ourselves overcome emotions of self-doubt and loathing. These emotions are very strong, and if they're affirmed by the people around us, they can cause us great harm. If we as parents can recognize them, we will come a long way in becoming emotionally healthy and leading our children in emotional health as well. Shame, by dictionary definition, is the painful feeling arising from consciousness of something dishonorable, improper, ridiculous, done by oneself or another. Guilt is described as a feeling of responsibility or remorse for some offense, crime, or wrong, whether real or imagined. Some have described guilt as the thought, I've done something bad, and shame as the thought, I am bad. Shame does not lead to positive change. The feeling is focused on self and disconnection from the incident which caused the feeling. Shame is internalized, and rather than voicing transparently the offense, shame will seek to disconnect from feeling at all, disconnect from people, and hide from the consequences of the incident that caused the shame. For instance, when I was in 4th grade, I wanted to hide under my desk until school was out and never return to that school again. Alternately, to feel guilt is to recognize that there was an offense and then seek to rectify it. Guilt takes responsibility for a situation and seeks to repair it. Feelings of guilt can lead to healing. You feel remorse about the situation and empathy for the hurt that it may have caused. This actually creates an accountability for change. For instance, I could have felt guilty for not paying attention in class and recognized the disruption that it caused and sought to correct that behavior in the future. Although shame and guilt are both evoked by a sense of failure, guilt can move us forward and the pain of offense can pass. Shame immobilizes us and causes us to want to escape, deny, or blame. Guilt can lead to growth, but shame only leads to stagnation. Jesus wants us to confess our guilt, but not be defined by it. He asks us to confess our sin and then accept forgiveness for it. This allows us to grow and move closer in relationship. God does not want us to be swallowed up in self-loathing, but to trust Him and His identity for us. Our relationship with Jesus and His community can lead us out of stagnant feelings of shame and into a repentant walk with Christ. Now that we know the differences between shame and guilt, we can discuss how this affects the way we parent. In the next video, we will discuss how to know if you parent using shame.